All right, I'd like to call the park board meeting for Tuesday, September 2022 to order. First item on our agenda is the approval of the minutes from the August 2022 park board meeting. Members should receive those minutes in their packets or email. Anybody have any additions or corrections? Okay, hearing none, those minutes will stand as presented. Thank you. Need a motion to approve those minutes?
So moved.
Second.
Been moved by Mr. Burton, seconded by Mr. Prost. All those in favor, Mr. Dietrich,
Aye.
Mr. Burton,
Aye.
Mr. Prost.
Aye.
I have an aye also. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is the attorney's report.
First item I have this evening for consideration is a purchase agreement with Rick Stevens Builders. And that's for $89,590 for roof repairs to be performed at the Freeway Community Center.
We recently had the fairly new skylights leaking, and then when we did have the skylights leaking, roofing companies came out to assess the skylight, and in doing that, they highlighted the fact that our roof is extremely aged. We've got the full extent of life out of our roof later, learned that is the original roof of the community center, which dates it around second roof.
Yeah, there was one. There was one, who was the second one put on?
It was the rubber one that was put on, and not the
That was
asphalt.
the second rubber one.
Yeah.
The original rubber one leaked also.
Rubber's fine.
Yeah.
This is just the Celtic shingles. Talking to them, we do need to get the entire roof replaced. You know, we're starting to see some waves in the roof as well, and the shingles are deteriorating. And that's what the scope of the proposal is for. We do have the money in this year's budget to do this. I will note as well that there is just a unit cost of $75 bill. We don't know what the extent of what the leaks could have caused as far as the decking is concerned. So I know the approval is $89,590. However, it's $75 per sheet to replace if we have any rot underneath the shingles that we don't know of.
Would you like to ask for a not to exceed amount instead?
Well, I don't even know what that would be.
Okay.
I mean, I would like them to approve $75 per sheet replaced. Could we do that? Because I don't even know what it would be. I mean, I could ask you to exceed, what, 92,000? I can't imagine.
Could we get approval after this? If this is approved, could we do,
Yeah, so if there would be a change to this price and increase in the price, we can always do an amendment.
could you do that through email?
We could reach out and make sure that that would be okay and and ratify if needed, yes.
Seeking approval that way because he can't, if something were to come up, he couldn't wait till next month.
Correct.
I'm happy to do it not to exceed amount.
But why don't we just do a not to exceed amount of 95,000?
That's fine.
I'll make those changes to the.
Explain it.
Is the damage mostly around where the skylights were, or?
No, it's got nothing to, the skylights were repaired. The skylights are fine. It was just the seals around the skylights. That's not the issue. The skylights are actually within the rubber membrane roof as well, which is in good shape. It just happened when they were there looking at the skylights, they noticed the shingles. This gentleman and some other guys get quotes as well. And collectively, independently, they all said, you've got your full extended life out of this roof.
Other questions or comments?
So what did you change it to? 92?
95.
95.
Not to exceed.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Bless you.
Thank you.
Hearing no other discussion, I need a motion to approve the purchase agreement with Rick Stevens Builder to do the roofing repairs agreement with the community center. The price on this should not exceed $95,000.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved by Mr. Burton, second by Mr. Dietrich. All those in favor, Mr. Dietrich,
Aye.
Mr. Burton. Aye. Mr. Prost.
Aye.
I have an aye also. Motion carries.
Next item for consideration is a use agreement with Jane Cochran Newburn for a tent payment camp that they would like to host every Tuesday from June 6th, 2023 to July 25th, 2023 at the Freedom Park Courts and Fields.
There is a representative here for this event. Just what I know about it as well, so it's an outreach event that combines obviously both parks, amenities, and sports versus their mission as well. Looks like it runs June 6th from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. using various recreational amenities within Freedom Park.
Can I say something?
Absolutely.
Sure, yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay,
Could you
okay,
state,
I am
could-
retired,
I'm sorry, could you state your name first?
Jane Cochran Newburn.
Okay,
Batesville knows me as Jane Cochran, my husband. I was doing my daily power walk around the lake,
mhm,
and up in the sky was a huge stone tablet. I was on the stone tablet, God said, you will be alone, and it will be good. I grew up in a Bible home, prayed for my students every day, and God, any problem any child had, God took care of it. So then, God asked me to go teach the Ten Commandments. And of course, I thought, okay, who's doing this? Nobody. So God showed me 20 ways to apply each commandment. Then the youth get to go out and play 10 different sports. And I have to tell you, what a nurse at a school in Batesville said, oh, for the next summer, but COVID hit, next summer, you have to get this everywhere. I watched her teach. God teaches through. God gives the kids so much common sense. And for every choice they make, they receive his blessing or his discipline. And they learn because they're children who don't have any love. Parents don't give them any time, parents don't care, but they need to know that God, their heavenly Father, loves them more than anyone. And boy, do I wear green, and I have green everything, and your green shirt, my workers wear green. And it is go to God, go with him in reading your Bible and prayer time, and then be ready to go for him. So of course, I put this up for all the children. And I tell them, if you went home today and there was a letter on the table addressed to you, and the return address said God, would you read? Whoa! And so then I purchase Bibles for everyone. They get to open it, and I tell them, the great thing about this book is you get God's mail every day. And so we get practicing on it, and some days I have a stack this high. Did you forget God's mail this week? But God has taught through me for 52 years. I'm 74 years old, and God keeps me going nonstop. Been a Bible study fellowship leader, Good News Club director, Vacation Bible School director, Sunday school teacher, and my students go off to do something great. They asked me to teach the Bible class for the high school students, and one boy went on to Rose-Hulman to start the first Bible study. But this class is so amazing, and I have a daughter who's a Division I athlete, and Mom, give me any sport. She will come and help also. But God sends me 30 workers every time. And like right now, I don't have a worker. But I'm going to be going out. I will go to the superintendents. I will go to the athletic directors. I will go everywhere. And all those workers send me thank you notes because of what they have learned. So I would just love to do the Ten Commandments Youth Discipline Program. And you'll always see me in green from head to toe. And if you ever see my Jeep going around, it's Army green and has the Ten Commandments on it. So whatever I can do, I cannot wait to do. And I'm hyped to get to.
Well, we appreciate your passion, thank you. So, just kind of a quick rundown, this is a program you want to run next summer at Freedom Park.
Yes,
And you want to use the park on Tuesdays from June through July, use the soccer fields, tennis courts, basketball courts, etc., from 10 to noon. Does staff have any issues with that? Either the use of those courts at that time or the length of the program?
That specific time and during that day is not as an active period as it normally would be at any other time.
What would be a better time?
Excuse me,
What would be a better time?
that's not a bad
Oh,
time.
that's not bad.
That's,
Okay,
that's a passive time.
okay.
You know, yeah, that park is not as active during those times.
And I give them all Bibles. And you have to look at this. All I am is a retired widow teacher.
Sure.
Should I have this kind of money? No way. A teacher? Teachers don't make money. No, but God has let my husband know 2 weeks before he died, in that entire lake hole. Everybody said most beautiful hole on the lake was all paid for. So we've only been in it 3 weeks, everything paid for, and I just sold it because God asked me to sell it. And the man who came to inspect my house, he said, ma'am, I do not inspect homes. I only inspect large buildings. I said, what else do you do? He said, I'm the inner city pastor of Indianapolis. I graduated from University of Indianapolis. My dad told me, don't you dare work, I have this. So I volunteered all the time in the inner city. I did my student teaching in the inner city, and I've asked God to take me there. So I teach there too.
Rob, is there any issue with rental rates?
Like anything we do, if an event that's associated with being exclusive at one of our amenities, rental fees will apply to each one. So the soccer field, tennis courts, and basketball courts, whatever the approved rental rates you guys have approved earlier, those will apply on each one of those uses.
And that would guarantee them usage of those.
But we give them
Park
exclusive
facilities.
use for their,
So if
for
somebody
their,
was
for their
so-
use.
Somebody was out there playing tennis, they would have, during their time frame when they rented that court, they would have use of that.
Correct.
How much are the tennis courts and the basketball courts? and the
Well, there's different fees for each one of the facilities out there,
Okay.
depending on the length of use. Right. So you'd have to work with staff on
Okay.
all that. They could give you all, I think all those fees are either on the website or on the app,
Okay,
but correct, you can look all that up,
okay,
get with staff on that.
okay, thank you.
Anybody else have any other questions? Okay. Hearing none, I need a motion to approve the use agreement with Jane Cocker Newburn for the usage of the park facilities in Freedom Park next summer for her 10 Commandment Youth Disciple Program.
So moved.
Second. Been moved by Mr. Prost, second by Mr. Burton, I'm sorry. All those in favor, Mr. Prost.
Aye.
Mr. Burton. Aye. Mr. Dietrich.
Aye.
I'm an aye also. Motion carries.
Next item for your consideration is a use agreement with the Greenwood Marching Band for their Marching Band Invitational. They'd like to park vehicles in Woodman Park. That'll be Saturday, September 17th from 7 a.m. to 11:30 p.m. at night.
This is an ongoing partnership that we have with Greenwood Consolidated School Corporation. Our property butts up to theirs at Woodland Park. They've utilized that open space for parking for the band invitation. This is the same scenario.
And as always, they always work things out with Jim and they still work with you and talk about where to park, where not to park. We've been doing this for quite a while now. No issues with it from staff? No. Okay. Questions or comments? Okay, hearing none, I need a motion to approve the use agreement with Greenwood Marching Band. Is this with the band or the school?
I believe it's the school technically.
Greenwood Community High School for their Greenwood Marching Band Invitational for overflow parking at Woodland Park on August 18th.
September 17th.
I looked at the wrong date, I'm sorry. September 2nd.
So moved. Second.
Been moved by Mr. Dietrich, second by Mr. Prost. All those in favor, Mr. Prost,
Aye.
Mr. Dietrich,
Aye.
Mr. Burton.
Aye.
I'm an aye also, motion carries.
Next item for consideration consideration is a use agreement with the Greenwood High School for their homecoming parade. They'd like to use Freedom Park, Freedom Springs area Thursday, September 15th from 6 PM till 7 PM. Just for staging.
They use the area for stadium. They've done this before.
So they stage in the park and go out to Aberg and down.
That's correct.
And all around. Questions or comments? No issues in the past with this, right?
Absolutely not.
No questions or comments from the board? Okay, hearing none, I need a motion to approve the use agreement with the Greenwood High School for their homecoming parade staging at Freedom Park on September 15th, I'm sorry.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved by Mr. Burton, second by Mr. Dietrich. All those in favor, Mr. Post.
Aye.
Mr. Burton. Aye. Mr. Dietrich.
Aye.
I'm not also, motion carries.
Site for consideration is a use agreement with Friends of Indianapolis Animal Care. They'd like to host a 5K at the Freedom Park, the 5K trail loop on Sunday, November 20th. I can't read my own writing for what time.
10, looks like 10 a.m. I think.
10 a.m., yeah. Yeah, looks like the beneficiary is the Friends of the Indianapolis Animal Care. At the friendly dog walk at Freedom Park, utilizing the multi-use trail. Assuming looks like it's within Freedom Park and then extends out to Averett and then back into Freedom Park as well and around the lake. November 20th.
November 20th. Okay.
Sunday.
Hi.
Hi.
Would you like to speak on behalf of this?
My name's Chad. My company's called Fun Races, and so Friends of Indianapolis Animal Care partnered with us to do a 5K.
Okay.
The last 5K we did was pre-COVID at Freedom Park,
Okay.
which was for Riley Hospital, and it worked out really well. And that kind of got killed with COVID. So now we're back to support the dogs instead of the kids this time. So it's a 5K. It's a time for the people that want to run fast. On this one, we found that most people bring their dogs. We've done this race before, and it's kind of fun. People seem to bring their good dogs to show them off. We've done this race a few times, and it's a fun get together.
Heather, did you get his name? I'm sorry.
Oh, my name's Chet, C-H-E-T. Last name is spelled K-L-E-N-E.
Okay, thanks. Any questions, comments?
So there is no fundraising for this event?
There's people register online. I wouldn't necessarily, I don't know if I call it fundraiser or not, but they will, hopefully Friends will make a decent amount of money from it, primarily through registrations, donations, and sponsorships.
But nothing on site.
There's no on-site fundraising.
So they ask for donations when they register online?
Yeah, people register online, and I think it's maybe 25 or 30 bucks, and then you can make a donation, and then they always try to get some sponsors for them.
In the event notification that I got, it says on here, talks about the event a little bit, it says, dogs are not required, but are welcome on leashes, of course. Should the dogs be required to be on leashes?
Well, I think that's what it's
That's
saying.
what
They
it
have to
says.
be
Well,
on
it says on
leashes.
leashes, of course, but it doesn't say it's required. That's all I was asking.
It's required.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine.
And it says that they'll follow all of our rules. It is a city ordinance that all
That's where I was going.
dogs have to be on leashes.
Thank you. Anything else from anyone? Okay, hearing no other discussion, need a motion to approve the use agreement with Friends of Indianapolis Animal Care for their Frosty 5K at Freedom Park on November 20th.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved by Mr. Pro, second by Mr. Burton. All those in favor, Mr. Dietrich,
Aye.
Mr. Burton,
Aye.
Mr. Pro.
Aye.
I'm an aye also. Motion carries. Good luck. Hope you have good weather.
Thank you all.
Next item is a ratification of a use agreement with Elevation Church for their celebration event, which took place Sunday, September 4th from 7 AM to 11 PM at Craig Park.
they called us almost a week of a rental at Craig Park Shelter too. And informed us that they would like to have a last minute change. There was a food truck by Foxy. I will send you guys out an email real quick. We appreciate your quick response. This is just a ratification of that.
We know how it worked out.
She's a good liaison on that. You have to know.
I didn't hear any questions, comments, or complaints about it. Apparently they've done it for a couple of years, but they were told last year that they needed to go to park board. They're trying to get on track to do it the right way.
Typically, when we don't hear things about anything, it went really well. We don't hear the bad.
Well, I remember last year them needed to come for the food truck.
Right.
So didn't know if it upset anybody or if they.
My thinking is they got a change of leadership on who's organizing it, and there's not getting passed down. There's not that one solid person there each year that.
So is this,
You guys
we approved this once.
You
and
need
so
to approve
this-
the
No,
ratification of it.
Oh, okay, okay. Okay, any other discussion? Okay, hearing none, I need a motion to approve the ratification of the use agreement with Elevation Church.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Burton, second by Mr. Dietrich, all those in favor, Mr. Burton.
Aye.
Mr. Dietrich. Aye. Mr. Prost.
Aye.
I'm an aye also, motion carries.
Sign this ratification of a civil and environmental consultants agreement.
This is an addendum, we guys approved earlier in the year, I believe, going into contract with CEC to do legal descriptions, so we can get Raycrow Way, handed over to the city. Additional services need to be done on that, which should be coordinated, and that's what this is. Project has been successfully conveyed to the city now, so.
Civil and environmental consultants.
So that addendum needs to.
Yep.
For
An
consideration.
amendment.
Yeah, sorry.
Amendment.
Okay, questions, comments, discussion? Hearing none, I need a motion to approve the ratification of these with the, I guess it's with civil and environmental consultants for the amendment to their agreement for $1,500.
So.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Burton, seconded by Mr. Prost, all those in favor, Mr. Prost.
Aye.
Mr. Burton. Aye. Mr. Dietrich.
Aye.
I'm an aye also, motion carries.
Sign this addendum to the preventative maintenance agreement with Sexton Mechanical. That's for work to be performed at the field house. We already have agreements with Sexton Mechanical for preventive maintenance at the community center here at the city building as well, actually. So this would be for the field house in particular.
This is preventative, like the script says, preventative maintenance, continually going into assessing our HVAC, changing filters, making sure everything's running the way it's supposed to. We have a community center, they have it here, right here at the city building as well, DPW, all the same company. It's a pretty standardized kind of preventative maintenance contract.
Questions or comments? Hearing none, I need a motion to approve the amendment to the preventive contract with Sexton Mechanical.
So moved. Second.
Moved by Mr. Dietrich, excuse me, second by Mr. Prost, all those in favor, Mr. Prost.
Aye.
Mr. Burton.
Aye.
Mr. Dietrich.
Aye.
I'm an aye also, motion carries.
Sign this amendment to the independent contractor agreement with Mr. Anthony Joslin. He'll be performing the fencing classes through at the field house. And the change is that it was 70% was going to be his take, but now that's 80%.
We're standardized at 730. Just pick one, it seems a unique program for us as well. Onboarding would be great. But something different. We've seen the issue with it.
He is great. You guys are a great thing with them.
Correct.
comments? Hearing none, I need a motion to approve the amendment to the independent contractor agreement with Mr. Anthony Joslin for the fencing lessons.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Burton, second by Mr. Prost. All in favor? Mr. Burton. Aye. Mr. Dietrich.
Aye.
Mr. Prost.
Aye.
I'm an aye also. Motion carries.
And sign for consideration of the independent contractor agreement with David Chunaki for softball. Teaching softball.
This is a independent contractor, the rec department has lined up for softball clinics and lessons for all ages. This is 73rd.
Fast pitch, slow pitch,
Girls fast pitch.
girls fast pitch, okay, at the field house on the 7th. We haven't worked with this guy before.
Yeah.
Well, we never had the facility.
Time to work.
Yeah, that's absolutely. Questions, comments? Okay, hearing none, I need a motion to approve the independent contractor agreement with Mr. David Chomaki. The softball instructor at the field house.
Second.
Been moved by Mr. Burton, seconded by Mr. Dietrich. All those in favor? Mr. Burton.
Aye.
Mr. Dietrich.
Aye.
Mr. Probst.
Aye.
And I also. Motion carries.
Final item is consideration of a purchase agreement with OmniDeck. It's actually a purchase agreement and addendum for a not to exceed amount of $50,000 for field matting for the field house.
This OmniDeck allows us to surface that interlocks together, and it will allow us to convert the field house main turf field into a usable event space outside of recreational active sports. We will then in turn be able to host dinners or anything that might damage the turf. The OmniDeck would be there covering it to protect it. It opens it up and makes the facility a lot more multifaceted and versatile as well. So we can host a variety of different things in the facility.
And if I'm not mistaken, this decking can also be used outdoors. It doesn't kill the grass.
This particular one is translucent. It does have a capability of having light penetrate through it, and so it could potentially be used on grass as well. It's not vehicular rated. Just noted that. We didn't see any need to go to vehicular rated. A, because it was excessive, and then B, for the install of the vehicular rated one, it increased the weight of each tile, increased by like 20 pounds per tile. And we'll be the ones performing that, self-performing the install. We thought it would be better not to have that. So this is just fun. This is what we need.
These are 4x4 panels.
These are 4x4 panels, and I think they weigh around 20 pounds. Yeah,
You got storage for all those?
we do. So we calculated it up. I know how much floor space it's actually going to take up. We did a really good job on playing the DPW building, and we're one of the only departments that have a gigantic mezzanine level for our department. So we have room for storage too.
So these are smaller than what's on the cover page?
These are 4x4s. Yeah, the vehicular rated ones were 3x6. I believe 3x6, and then they were like 50 pounds, 3x6. This quote from OmniDeck was enough to cover 7,500 square feet, which is what the turf field is.
So this expands your ability to use this facility more with other opportunities.
Immensely. And not only does it do, say, the turf field, it could potentially have benefits like Mr. Burke was alluding to as well, and having outdoor benefits as well.
Again, this was not to exceed, right?
Correct, 50,000.
50,000.
The vendor has had, we've had a hard time getting shipping costs out of the vendor. So that's why we went ahead and did it not to exceed rate.
Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, I need a motion to approve the purchase agreement with Omnitech for the flooring system to be used at the field house and rooms, not to exceed $50,000.
So moved.
Second,
By Mr. Dietrich, second by Mr. Prost. All those in favor, Mr. Prost.
aye.
Mr. Dietrich.
Aye.
Mr. Burke.
Aye.
I'm an aye also, motion carries. Chelsea, thank you very much. Next item on the agreement is the user fees, exclusive field house user fees and off-peak rental fees.
First off, the proposed non-peak rental fees, the field house has received quite a bit of interest renting out court spaces during the day. The field house, we're proposing a non-peak rental pricing for court space. Practice court per hour, $25 for a member, and then $30 for non-member. Basketball court, half per hour, $25, and then $30 non-member. Non-peak hours, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. And then as noted in the asterisk, the non-peak pricing will be valid during school days.
So this establishes prices for the entire time that the place is open now, right?
Yeah.
So it covers it all.
Yeah, and this is the evolution of a facility like
Yeah.
this. We're getting feedback from the public, and this is one of those things, tendency, gonna happen.
Yeah, I'm glad you're bringing that up, because we knew once we got in there, we were gonna have to evolve and be able to adjust.
This evolution will continue for some time, especially during, we should go through the winter season. I imagine we'll see other things like this.
Any questions or comments? Hearing none, I need a motion to approve, excuse me, the user fees for non-peak rental pricing at the Greenwood Fieldhouse.
And instruction to the legal team to put together a resolution reflecting this change.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Burton, seconded by Mr. Duke. All those in favor, Mr. Duke.
Aye.
Mr. Burton.
Aye.
Mr. Prost.
Aye.
I know I also, motion carries.
Gets to go with that.
Correct.
Now,
Yep.
there's consideration of a use agreement with Indris Hauser for a corporate holiday party that they'd like to hold at the field house on Saturday, January 28th, 2023, from 6 p.m. till 12 a.m.
Before we get ahead of ourselves, there's, within that body of stuff, there was also the proposed field house exclusive rental rates as well that we need to present for your consideration. That should have been in your packets. To go through these, this actually is, it's strategically placed, because now you've done the Omni deck, and now we can talk about facility rentals and how it actually gets exclusively used. I'll just go through this. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. Entire facility, exclusive use available Friday and Saturday nights beginning at 6 p.m. Minimal rental time is for 4 hours. Any additional time before 6 p.m. will be rented at an exclusive use hourly rate. It must be approved by the city park board as it involves closing the facility to the public for additional hours. The rate we are proposing is $750 per hour. Hourly rent is charged for event time plus setup / teardown time. If additional staffing is required outside of normal operating hours, additional fee may be charged based on number of staff required. Omni deck turf flooring covering, that is an option that the renter would like to choose to use. That it'll be $2,000 surcharge per event for the full turf, full coverage. And then if they want half turf coverage, it'll be $1,500 for that. And then let's get, do you guys have any questions on that?
On the Omni deck, some events, I will assume, will absolutely require the purchase of placing that Omni deck across the turf, correct? Just so we're clear that the client doesn't always get to choose.
Correct. No, we will be, like, if they want to host something on there, like tables and chairs and a dance, a floor, we've had press on that. That will be required, or they will not be able to get those visitors to use that facility. Correct. I think I'd like, any other questions?
Have we ever done anything till midnight in a building? Is there any concern there?
Not programmatically,
Not at the community center?
midnight, I don't think,
And I don't recall. It's pretty late at night.
not program wise, I don't think.
Not a long time.
Yeah.
And then you've got a
It would be staffed, we would never leave our assets unattended. So
Oh,
it
I
would be-
understand that.
It would be staffed accordingly, and then those staff hours and then that operation time allotted for that would be passed on.
Can you go later if they want to go 11 or something?
So here's how I'd like to approach this. I'd like for you to consider that first part there for your consideration, and then I'm gonna go into the next section.
Any other questions about the exclusive rental rates? So would you like to talk about the walk-ins now?
Yeah, we can talk about that now. So we have now got some unusual, we would consider them unusual requests because again, we're evolving, we're learning from this. From churches to outreach clubs like Scouts and Girl Scouts and enrichment programs, how they wanted to do, the coin term is lock-ins. So available only Friday and Saturday nights, exclusive use does not begin until 8 p.m. It is only until 8 a.m. following morning. Available to nonprofits and church groups only, up to 500 people, flat fee of $5,000 for that. For all exclusive rentals, proof of $1 million insurance is required, obviously. So what that is that some of the scout groups, these church groups have expressed interest, they see the turf field, and they would like to have an enrichment program on the turf field and sleep overnight in that facility as well. It would be staffed.
How would you approach staffing for something like that? Would it be a voluntary thing, or you just appoint somebody that says you're gonna be on that shift?
Well, I mean, we'll volunteer to see who wants to
And if
work
you
that
have,
shift.
if you have 500 people spending the night in there, what would the staff look like as far as size?
Yeah, so the 500 people aren't, let's call them the youth. They're not unsupervised within themselves. Like they're going to be with the people who are doing the exclusive use of the facility, they're going to have their supervision of, scouts are and scout leaders, they're all going to be there as well, church leaders. We're going to supervise that probably. We will work out how many people it will take per space of the field house and whatever they're going to be using, right? So if you're not going to be using adult simulators, that can easily be locked up, right? That's a lockable facility. But we would stick personnel in each different area of the field house if we want to proceed. So I have to throw a number at it,
Right.
5, 6 people. Somewhere around there.
Then their rental fees cover the salaries for those people.
It's all covered, correct. And we are following, like this could change, we'll figure this out, and like your questions, they may really hit home and we're not staffing up enough. We'll set,
You're gonna have one to find out where the,
we got to figure it out somewhere. Right.
Same evolution that happened at the community center.
Correct.
Well, and it's a good cost.
Yeah, these are good problems to have.
Yeah. It really is.
There's a lot to digest. Do you guys have any questions or concerns?
And we could always table it if we want to discuss
Absolutely.
the language maybe that we're gonna use.
Yeah, yep, and then that's right, and then so these aren't pressing issues, this doesn't have to be done right now. It's the stuff that we do need to really strongly consider for 2023.
the flat fee, we're just trying to cover the cost of the running the facility over what would that be? 10-hour period from start to finish?
The $5,000 fee,
Yeah.
yeah.
What time do you open on Fridays or Saturdays and Sundays? What time is it? So is that enough time for you to get the facility rental ready for the public if somebody were to do a 10-hour rental?
Yeah.
Get everybody out and get it cleaned up and. over.
Yeah, we would just have to
I mean,
program it.
There again, that's something that you guys would have to work out.
Yeah,
With
to
the
do it,
field house, we
find
have to
out.
program it to where they'll know they'll have a little bit, not to have somebody stacked right on top of them,
Yeah.
coming in behind.
If I could, I would advise that we wait to vote on the lock-in. But I feel comfortable if you're ready to make a decision on the exclusive use fees. We can just look into other facilities that have done lock-ins and make sure that we're.
Safe and secure.
Yeah. Yeah, with the lock-ins, you want to definitely make sure you've got all your ducks in a row.
We may need to run that by our insurance
That-
as well.
That's fine.
100%.
Yeah, that built in. This does get strong support though from the city.
Staff, board is okay with tabling the lock-in part of this? Any other discussion? So I guess we need a proposal to approve the exclusive use rental rates
Yes,
for the Greenwood Fieldhouse on Fridays and Saturdays.
and instructing legal to reduce that to a resolution.
Am I to assume, what if this isn't enough money? Will we be able to?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes. It'll be the same as this, and we would do an amendment to that resolution, update it. We've done that a couple times, even
Okay.
since I've been here.
Yeah, it's possibly not get it right first time. Sure.
I think it's a great idea. Sorry, I think it's a great idea. A great idea. These facilities need to be used as much as possible.
Yeah, and need the motion to approve the exclusive use rental rates.
I do have one other question. Is this going to be exclusive to residents and resident churches or whatever in Greenwood, or it's going to be offered to outside?
Talking about the lock-ins,
Yeah.
it's not exclusive of anyone like that, except for what we mentioned in there already.
Okay.
Yep.
Awesome.
Not for profits and outreach church groups.
Awesome.
Is that all? Okay. Still need the, like to get a motion to approve this, the exclusive use rental rates for the Fieldhouse on Friday and Saturday evenings.
So moved.
Second,
Been moved by Mr. Burton, seconded by Mr. Dietrich. All those in favor, Mr. Burton? Aye. Mr. Dietrich?
aye.
Mr. Probst?
Aye.
I'm an aye also. Motion carries. Now, I guess we move on to the consideration of the use agreement with Dennis Townsend.
Saturday, January 28th, from 6 p.m. to 12 a.m. at the field house.
With the recent rental rates at the field house approved, or in your consideration, this is for January 28th, 2023, 6 p.m. to midnight. Anticipated attendance is 225. This is for Hendris Hauser. We have met with them, out on site. They are very excited about the facility, the opportunity.
I think we'll have the Omni deck for them.
We will not, but I don't think they are requesting the turf field to be covered, or we require it because of the nature of the event. It's going to be set up very similar to the way the foundation did the sponsorship there.
Is this for their employees?
Yes.
Okay.
They do want to be on the deck. They do want to be on the deck.
You better go get it.
Those were.
A rush.
Jim?
We'll have it. I mean, the lead time is 2 to 3 months on the deck. Thanks, Ken. Hopefully finance can put the on deck in our budget.
It's on your 2023 budget. Just don't submit the bills after January 1.
Yeah.
Discussions, questions, comments on this?
I think start up was good.
Congratulations on your first event.
Second.
All right, hearing none, I need a motion to approve the consideration for the use agreement with Indris Hauser for the rental of the Greenwood Fieldhouse exclusive rental on January 28th, 2023.
So moved.
Second. Been moved by Mr. Prost, second by Mr. Burton. All in favor, Mr. Prost.
Aye.
Mr. Burton. Aye. Mr. Beecher.
Aye.
I'm an aye also. Motion carries. Greenwood Foundation report.
I believe you guys have the quarterly financial report. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to try to answer them. Good luck reading that last spreadsheet.
You know, that's where I was going.
Foundation is doing very well. Partnership with Fieldhouse is certainly been a big contributor to that.
Sorry. We appreciate the information. It's nice to be kept up with what's going on. It's just, budget an extra sheet of paper next time so they can increase their font size. Old. Questions, comments? Foundation report item under that was consideration of the Indiana Astros sponsorship.
Got another partner for your consideration as a single walking track partnership, it's a 2-year term. What is it, $1,350 a year. The Astros is a baseball travel team organization.
How much were we doing?
$1,350. And they have chosen to have their single impression on the walking track, on the block wall, facing south, so it would be right there visible with the batting cages. Very fitting.
So we need to approve this, Kelsey.
Yes.
You say they're like a youth sport, youth baseball.
It's a travel team
Travel
organization.
team. Okay. Where are they based out of? I mean, it says in Indiana. I have no idea. We know if they're white.
Yeah.
Okay, just curious, never heard of it. Questions, comments? Okay, hearing none, I need a motion to approve the sponsorship with the Indiana Astros. Excuse me, for the walking track over at the Fieldhouse for $1,350 a year. So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Burke, second by Mr. Beecher. Calls in favor, Mr. Burke. Aye. Mr. Beecher.
Aye.
Mr. Probst.
Aye.
I'm an aye also. Motion carries. Controllers report. Craig is here.
Good evening. We sent out the reports at the beginning of the month here. So far for the month through the end of August, we actually have brought in more receipts than we've spent out money. So we've booked about $400K in the bank so far in the operating fund. That's because we have gotten our property tax, the first distribution, so that will shrink a little bit now. But you can see also that the Freedom Springs admissions through the end of August were 953,867, so pretty solid numbers coming out of there. Food and beverage tax funds, obviously running ahead on there, right within the budget as far as that goes. The Park S&R fund, we flipped it from where we did have more receipts than expenses. Now we're starting to spend into some of that as some of the programs through the summer have gone through. So there's a little bit of a difference there, 6,700 that we've spent down of that balance, but still 354,000 in that account. Park impact fee, we got another big one in last month. You can see it for 313,000. So right now that account is up just over $1 million for this year. Pretty solid. Are there any questions about the financials?
Is there a, I don't know what the word is, maybe threshold that we like to keep at our SNR accounts? Not the, and I don't mean the active ones that are paying for programs that are actively running throughout the summer or paying for what's going on with the pool, but let's say dog park. You know, is there a threshold where you feel if it gets to a certain point, maybe it's kind of uncomfortable to have that too much in there?
Well, that's all runs through the same fund, so we don't separate it out
Okay,
quite that way.
so you just look at the total.
Right, right. But if the department sees that fees for a certain thing are not supporting that activity, they would revisit the fee structure. We try to have that review regularly.
They view the SNR aggregate number differently than we do. Like our bottom line number is the same, but we compartmentalize them. So we know that each one is self-supporting, like the dog park is supporting itself. We try to.
The rec track software allows them to be a little more granular on that. Where our financial reporting side. I did send out an email before I came down. It's got a link to the budget for next year proposal. So at the next meeting, I will be asking for y'all to go ahead and approve or recommend that budget to council. I'll send out some instructions. It's a little bit of a new process this year. We do have a website set up that's got everything. It's got all the granular details in it. So I'll send out the instructions on how to use that, but it's also got summaries that you've used to see in previous years.
Thank you, Barry. Appreciate it. Clark's report. Brooks here.
Hi guys. So all in all, we had a pretty great and successful season. We had a blast while it lasted. Yesterday was our last day open for the 2022 season. We've already kind of started into hiring for the 23 season. So we're kind of full steam ahead on that to ensure that we get enough staff to staff the facility during the summer. The only other event that we have left now is Puppy Palooza, and that's this upcoming Saturday, which starts at 10, I believe, or 10, and then we'll end at 2. So we're gearing up for that, getting the facility ready for that, so that way the work dogs have their day. Yeah, all in all.
How long does it take to winterize?
So my goal is always to try to get it done by the end of September. But this year I have more hands on deck helping me with the winterization. A lot of my supervisors and then Michelle and Lucas, my two coordinators. So I think that that's definitely within reach. We can definitely get that done by the end of September. But it takes a long time to blow all the water out the lines and then go from there.
Yes, it's on record. Meeting's recorded, it's on record.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate the effort, the hard work. I know it's not easy.
Yeah,
You
thank
go on
you.
vacation, what, November 1st? October 1st?
Around there.
Okay. Thank you for working. Thank you, Brooke.
Yep, thank you.
Parks report.
I believe y'all have a copy of my report in front of you. If you have any questions, we'd be more than happy to answer. And we'll start winterizing the Freedom Springs as soon as we get there. Hopefully by the end of September.
Couldn't do it without you, right?
No.
Drove through a couple parks today. They're still looking great.
Thank you. I will pass it on. Staff doing their job.
Anxious to see the pathway going in at Northeast. That's
I think so.
You think, well, I know I talked about the staking and all that before. You think we'll have that done by next meeting?
No.
The dent?
I mean, it'll definitely be in the process. Yeah, it'll be close.
Other questions for Jim? Thanks, sir. Trails.
Brought up one, in Northeast Park, it's on the horizon, happening very soon. We'll have more progress on that next meeting. Additionally as well, we are still under contract with the Trails Master Plan. We are meeting with that. Working with CDS, there was some personnel changes on that that kind of got shifted around. So we are trying to ramp that back up. We've got a hold of the vendor that has that contract last week, and we're trying to get that back on track. So hopefully we'll have an approved Trails Max 25 this year. Alternative transportation. That's all I got for trails.
Recreation report.
You have a copy of a report. We're making that transition from summer events to fall events. So we have movies and campouts and parades, Halloween, Christmas events coming up. So, yep, and we'll start working on calendar for next year's summer concerts and things like that as well.
Hope somebody went to Touch Truck.
Yeah,
They loved it.
it's fun.
How did you get the Oscar Mayer Wiener?
It's all about people you know.
And I know I'm floating off here like I said, but I tried for 10 years to get them to come to our parade. And they just ignored me.
It-
Should I ask you to do it?
They have a request you just put on the website. I put it in there in
I know.
February and put our dates, and then they'll let you know like 3 weeks before if there's one in the area. It's actually kind of cool. They have 6 Oscar Mayer Wienermobiles in the Midwest or in the United
Travel,
States.
yeah.
Yeah, they do it for 48 weeks.
Quit bragging. Good job, Nick.
Could they grill next year?
I don't think that's real.
Okay.
But the bus was still the biggest hit there. The big feature sitting in the
It's
bus.
quite the coup. Thank you, Nick.
Yep.
Fieldhouse report.
Uh,
Ricky provided with us.
Ricky's not able to attend tonight. I haven't answered any questions.
Questions or comments from the board? On down to the community center report.
You guys have my report, if you have any questions, let me know.
And as the revenue keep going up with the community center, so it's always encouraging to see that.
It's the fitness center that I've noticed the most.
Yes.
Seems to be extremely active.
It's so active, it's hard to get in there and clean it.
Yeah. There again, good problem to have.
It's-
Okay, thanks, Sharon. Any other business from the public? Other business from Park Board?
I have one thing. I would like to give Brooke a big thank you for handling a difficult situation and all the difficult situations with the utmost professionalism.
Thank you.
You do a fantastic job. I don't think you could do any better. And I wanted that on public record. So you do a wonderful job. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Anything else from the board?
I have a question. Do we have a staff report in the baseball park, or how's that going along? You broke ground, or
It's wet.
it's wet?
It is really wet.
Okay.
I'm not trying to be facetious. We are starting with seasonal rains right now. It is very, very wet. A lot of infrastructure going in, stormwater sanitation lines right now. Also with some county surveyor to do some permitting on crossings, also get American Water and Utilities, make sure we get our permitting done on that as well. Electrical easements are in process.
Good.
Carrying a lot of loose items, equipment on that, additional as well, as far as playgrounds, splash pads, shelter houses, turf field, and the backstop netting and the light. About all under contract.
And just one thing on that, you do have enough dirt.
As of we sit, like at this very moment.
Yeah.
We are still actively seeking additional dirt.
I sent a person your way that has approximately 700 tracks was full from Martinsville. He made a contact.
Yeah, that's fine. I think we are in process of getting that resolved. But happy to talk about additional fill, sure.
Another question, if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah.
These new ballparks are state of the art, special turf conditions to improve longevity of play. Were you planning to do anything with that baseball field on West Main? Like upgrade it to be as same as, or was there any plans for that at all? Leave it as is or what?
Yeah, we will continue to maintain the West Side Park as a community sports amenity, sports field amenity for open play. So I think as we go down, as we go through all of our parks, we can certainly want to make sure we're hitting on the checklist that they're getting approved appropriately and being maintained. And then West Side won't be different than that.
Okay, very good.
Anything else from the board? Board members should have got the clean sheet in their email packets. Unless there's no additions or corrections to that, it will stand as presented. If there's nothing else coming forward this board, this meeting is adjourned.